I'd say us making playoffs at the start wasn't an expectation, but it started building up to an expectation as we continued to improve. We really showcased, especially in scrims, how we can outplay these teams, out-strategize them, and at the moment, I think we are even a finals team. You know, we're going into the semifinals, but I think we have finals in the bag.
Welcome back, League fans. For those of you just tuning in, Echo Fox has taken a lead in this series after a very convincing Game 1 versus Team Liquid Academy.
Yeah, that was actually a pretty dominant game. I think the early game, when we said it was the beginning of the end, was 6 minutes in, and a lot of that
pretty early.
A lot of that was because TLA, they went for this early Ocean Drake that was kind of one that, when you're looking at macro in League of Legends, yeah, you should take because you have priority, but their champions weren't in a place where maybe they shouldn't have had priority in the first place, but then they also weren't able to fight in those team fights. So it looked like TLA, because they had picked 2 lanes with the Cassiopeia and the Kog'Maw that were looking to scale up, shouldn't have been looking for those fights early. So I want to see TLA adjust and have more early game. Like, don't ban out the Xayah, pick it yourself, pick champions like that, and try to dominate lane, because you think of Mickey, right? All these kind of plays where he wants to kind of flip a coin. If you're flipping coins and they're coming up heads and you're doing well and you're on an early game champion, you're just going to blast the early game and it no longer becomes a coin. It becomes a loaded die at that point.
Yep.
Where you're just like, all right.
You know the result.
Exactly. You know what's going to come up when you're just like, all right, I'm already 2-0 on this champion that's going to dominate early game, and you just snowball.
But what I want to see is exactly how the draft changes up this time. Because like we mentioned at the end of the last game, Echo Fox Academy is going to be on the red side this time. So that means they get last pick, but Team Liquid Academy gets that first pick. I want to see how that affects what they ban, what they decide to pick away, because we saw that Riven ban be very important, right? We saw Echo Fox Academy not be kidding around when we heard from Alorum about wanting to respect that Riven. It was the very first thing they banned away. They wanted to make sure that was off the table. And when you put Viper on the Gnar, and like we mentioned, he had only played it 1 time in the regular split, it wasn't this thing that he seemed like he was just able to take over the game with. He seemed rather ineffective.
Well, I also think the Cho'Gath is just kind of... The Gnar counters the Cho'Gath in lane, yes, but Cho'Gath, once he gets like his first back off or his second back, it's like he's fine. His passive is going to sustain him enough. He's got wave clear with his E. He's got enough AoE damage if he's ever under pressure to just obliterate a wave. And Cho'Gath just scales incredibly well, incredibly quickly, where people just have been like, let's just ban it away now. And I think that might be a path here for TLA, because it's just kind of this big meatball, this big wall that I don't think Viper can really break through unless he dominates it. Like, we're talking level 2, level 3. And I think Alorum is onto that type of strategy and is just on containment duty like we've said before.
And another player I want to keep my eyes on heading into Game 2 is Hard, because we saw Hard get the first blood for Team Liquid Academy in Game number 1. He made the play onto Demonte in the mid lane, got Mickey off to a good start, but then it was also Hard who started the Ocean Drake that got his team in a rough spot. And then 6 minutes later, when Infernal Drake's spawning, it's Hard that's caught out outside the Dragon Pit that leads to that Echo Fox advantage being snowballed even further. So I want to see Hard kind of tighten up some of that decision-making so that he can keep making those plays like we saw against Demonte and not put himself in those spots like we saw around the Drake Pit.
Yeah, get himself, it wasn't so much the pick or what he was doing in terms of the ganks. It was more the fact his team wasn't really on the same page as him. And now we're seeing the bans come out already. Interesting changes so far.
All right, we've got Caitlyn and Galio banned out by Team Liquid Academy, so not quite the same heavy AD focus like we saw last time around, and kind of in line with your point where you said you don't expect to see them do that again because they tested it in Game number 1. It didn't seem to be super successful.
Yeah.
Echo Fox Academy, on the other hand, they tested banning Riven in Game number 1, and that was successful. So they're going to repeat that one. Again, first ban that away, but they'll also ban out the Olaf that they first picked last time around, and they'll ban out the Xayah. Team Liquid Academy deciding to spend their first pick on Ryze.
Actually, very interesting here from Echo Fox Academy, because the Xayah last ban, normally you'd want to take like Xayah Rakan yourself on the red side, and there were so many mid laners up, Ryze, Azir, Swain as well, on the table, and I was not expecting that to come through, because TLA, if you ban something like Ryze, maybe they go for Xayah and then you get Azir and maybe Rakan or whatever, but it just seems like the priority on these AD carries and knocking them down just a peg is what's on the menu here for both teams.
I mean, maybe Echo Fox just didn't want to play Rakan either, because if you give away Xayah and you don't want to play Rakan, then they get both, and That's a pretty big feels bad, but Echo Fox will feel good about grabbing that Swain for themselves. We've seen quite a bit of him in professional play after the buffs to him post-rework, and Sejuani also locked in, so big tank in the jungle this time around.
Swain is also a flex pick, so you can't know exactly where it's going. Azir is still potentially on the table for Damonte, but Swain, a little bit more favorable in mid for pro play, but top lane, it just means you can have this pick that you throw up there that beats pretty much all other top laners in the laning phase. He's like kind of the new Jace. Very low cooldown Q, ranged autos. Phase
Very
rush
difficult to
also.
deal with.
You also
Right.
usually take phase rush so you can chase people down in the lane phase as well.
Now, Team Liquid Academy seems to be awfully big fans of the composition Echo Fox Academy had in game number 1, because they've got 2 out of 3 of those picks so far. They've got both the Ryze and the Tahm Kench for themselves. We talked about how the Olaf was banned away. The Skarner also not going to be picked. When Team Liquid saw that Echo Fox was going for that big late-game team fighter tank in the Sejuani, they're saying, okay, we're going to draft one of those ourselves, grabbing the Zac. And now the support pick coming through for Echo Fox, the Braum locked in.
Oh, yeah. Like you said, they took away those 2 semi-globals from before with the Tahm Kench and the Ryze. There's a lot of movement here for TLA in terms of the composition, but Echo Fox Academy, they are just, their bans might as well just spell out FUN because there's none of that here. The Yasuo and the Riven all out. It's like,
Yasuo, Riven, and they're like, you can't even have your fallback plan now. Your meta answer to trying to be a carry in the top lane, we're also getting rid of that. No Gnar.
yeah, no Gnar. And then it's funny too because the Olaf is also a double ban because he had played it in the top lane. Viper had played Olaf in the top lane for a game. So they're just going down his champion list being like, nope, 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 nope. Get all of them out of there. And then the Scion's the last ban here from TLA. That means Cho'Gath's still on the table. And you can see they're taking their time here. I don't expect them to pick their mid lane. There we go. So they'll pick the top lane. Swain will be flexed to mid. And it's the AD carry that is the last pick here for Fox.
See how Team Liquid wants to respond to that. Thinking about Jhin there for the AD carry role. Alorm had such a good first game on Cho'Gath. I'm not really too surprised to see him picking that up for a second round.
Yeah.
Doesn't want to leave it open for Viper to potentially take, but Team Liquid Academy, they're saying, all right, you banned out a bunch of the carries. There's still one left to pick, and they're going to put Viper on the gangplank.
There's just a lot of priority here on giving Lost the best possible matchup bottom lane because Echo Fox Academy picked red side, and you would assume it's so they can make sure that Viper doesn't counterpick top, but he gets to counterpick top now, right?
Yep.
The Cho'Gath comes through so that they can protect the AD carry pick, and then the GP comes through after, and that will affect the bottom lane. So I don't think you could pick Varus or Jhin here, because the GP ultimate will come down on those low mobility carries.
Yeah. They pick something instead that has the most disengage of any AD carry out there, quite honestly. The rocket jump to get away, you can buffer it through CC, as well as the buster shot to put more distance between you. Lost on the Tristana this time around. Plenty of ways to protect himself and keep safe, getting away from those Zac engages, because when you look at the side of Team Liquid Academy, you've got 2 different ways of really starting off these fights. You either get a big Zac initiation, or you flank with a Vissel Voyage or Realm Warp. Yeah. So if Lost can just jump away from any of those things, it makes it much easier to get out of those compromising spots.
Yeah, if you take Fox's roster, or what they picked here, and you go, okay, let's take Tristana out, let's put in Varus, let's put in Jhin. And then you look at this, it's like, GP ulti's gonna come down, Realm Warp's gonna come out, Zac's gonna be coming for you. It's like, only thing that would really stop that on this comp here from Fox is the Sejuani Q would interrupt like the Zac, but then everything else is just gonna come right on top of them.
You're gonna get bopped.
Exactly. They're just gonna go after that AD carry. So the Tristana, even though it's not in vogue, they're gonna pick it up themselves and just kind of make sure he has that disengage like you said for Lost.
All right, here we go. Loading on to Summoner's Rift for the second time today. If Echo Fox can win here, they take us to match point. If Team Liquid does, they are going to get us into that tied up game, ladies and gentlemen. Essentially just moving on to a best of 3 from there. Start off going 1-1.
I hate that. Don't do that.
Nope, we're going to do that anyway. I know it's big meme, but sometimes you got to go for the big memes to get the big dreams. TLA win. FOXA win. Remember, you can spam the chat with them as much as you want. Let us know who you think's going to come out on top. Last game, about 60% of people seem to be in favor of Team Liquid Academy, but after Echo Fox's performance, I highly anticipate that being changed up a little bit.
Yeah, Echo Fox, they said, even like Alorm came out and said, we feel like we're already in the finals, right? We're already a finals team. And whether he's talking about the level or the fact that the opponents that he has to play, he just thinks they're better than. But it's funny because this wasn't really a consideration where Echo Fox was on the outside looking in. It was really the other top 3 teams of Academy with FlyQuest, Cloud9 Academy, and TLA, which looked like the top 3 teams with Fox not even being a part of that. Now Fox are saying, we're actually number 1, coming up from number 4.
Hey, beating number 1 is a good way to prove it. Demonte showing off his emote spam abilities as well. I actually didn't even know what the spam for New Swain looks like, but that's pretty good if he can jump up and down, flail his cape all over the place.
You know, what I like as well is he gets the little dragons around the map.
Oh,
like
yeah,
right there.
those cool little critters.
And they fly away and like change out.
Yeah.
When
Those
he
are
goes
really
too
cool.
far. Yeah.
Those are really cool. I like those. Those
Yeah.
are OP. We never had those on Old Swain. New Swain forever.
It scared me at first because I was
You're freaked out by it?
Well, as a jungler, I'm walking around like you're kind of tense as a jungler. You're like, okay, I'm face checking this bush, and then it's just like this thing flies away out of the corner of your eye. You're like, what was that? Stop! Nobody move! And it's like question mark pings.
What are these
He
things?
says actually just like a bird that was flying away because the crows.
Oh, yeah.
When the ravens, I guess, when they fly away, and you see them out of the corner of your eye, it's like, wait, what was that? It just happens all the time too.
All right, Jungler's starting off at red buffs this time around. Got to see him start at blues the last game, switching things up a little bit. Remember last game, it was Hard who got himself involved first, getting that first blood onto Demonte in the mid lane. Demonte running that phase rush on the Swain like you were talking about. His opponent in Mickey having the Summoner Spellbook on the Rise means he gets the Ignite during the laning phase. So Demonte will have to be very much aware of that.
Phase Rush is taken on Swain because his passive counts as a spell. So if you E somebody, pull them with the passive, which is just a right click, and then you Q, you get Phase Rush, and you get to run them down. So it's really easy to proc. Basically a free ability after you land your E, or if somebody else lands a CC for you, you get that little pullback.
Plus, I mean, with 40% cooldown reduction, his Q is on under, what, 2-second cooldown? It's very, very spammable at the final level.
So at rank 9, it is a 2.5 second cooldown base.
Oh!
Base!
So if we get rid of 40% of that, it's 1.5 seconds.
Yeah.
Woo!
Yep.
That's quite a lot of damage, so the phase rush will definitely be paying off if he can get to that point. He played the last game pretty well, especially considering he started it off in a less than ideal way. We'll see what they can do this second time around. Like I said in game 1, I'm especially going to be keeping eyes on what Team Liquid Academy's mental appears to be heading into this second game. Because remember, the regular split is played in best of ones. You win, you lose, however it happens, you're done after that first game. But now, you've got to improvise, you've got to adapt, you've got to overcome. You've got to find ways to keep yourself in a spot where you can come back from a deficit throughout the course of multiple games. A lot of damage coming out from Mickey onto Demonte in the mid lane here. Mickey almost out of mana, though. Demonte lower on HP. Odd Orange invading the enemy Krugs, trying to steal some of those away. Joey will move to try to stop him. You can see right now, round 2, baby. If you saw how game 1 went, who do you think will win game 2? Spam the chat with TLA or FOXA to let us know. You don't even need to put the hashtag in there. Doesn't matter if you're on Twitch. Doesn't matter if you're on YouTube. If you're watching this and you've got a chat platform tied into whatever you're watching it on, you can spam away. Let us know what you think, and we'll be checking in with that in just a short while.
You ever get those questions where people ask you, if, while you're casting, do you ever watch Twitch chat?
I get that a lot.
Yeah. The answer's always no. We don't watch Twitch chat. But now we're interacting and
Sorry,
actually
chat.
just saying that you guys exist. So I don't know if I like this. We're acknowledging them.
Yeah, Twitch chat on the Notice Me.
Yeah.
Notice Me Senpai, getting the weeb emotes in there, and we've noticed you, Twitch chat.
Yeah.
And we'll be taking count of exactly what y'all think here, like I said, in a few moments.
No
But
Bacchus
now-
here, man.
Yeah. None of that. But we're checking out how these teams are doing early on. It's a slight gold lead for Echo Fox Academy. Nothing huge, obviously, because you can see the farm is very close across all roles. Nobody's pulling off to a huge advantage, and there you go. Echo Fox Academy now 55% when they were only 40% last time around. That first actions speak louder than words do, Zyrene. That first game showed what this team's made of.
They're predicting the team that's up 1-0 to win.
Thinking emoji. Never would have guessed on
There
that
are
one.
some bold people out there. This is about as bold as a Freak's midnight tweet that's scheduled.
You know, I heard Korea may win world.
Bold prediction.
Bold prediction. Italicized, underlined.
Oh my
It's out there, but
He can't keep doing that.
he will.
Yeah, I know he will.
You know he will. Echo Fox Academy, though, continuing to farm up on this Cho'Gath that Alorum had. We got to see him make some real success on it last game. from doing well in laning to holding his own, like we saw how the fact that Viper wasn't able to get ahead by a lot, by any real measurable amount on the Gnar. He had a slight CS lead for a while, and then even as the game went on, remember, it was Alorum that made it so Echo Fox Academy could get that first Baron that they got. That was huge.
It was actually very big. And now you see Hard mid looking for Demonte, but nothing's going to come of that. And Viper actually got a pretty good back off. Got to complete his Sheen because he started with Crystal and Refillable. And so he goes back, gets Sheen, changes it into a Corrupting Potion, and he gets a ward on top of it. So that's pretty much just perfect gold that you would end up picking up there.
Exactly where you want your gangplank to be.
Whoa, wait.
Hold on, what do we got going on here?
He just warded the lane. There's a minion health bar blocking it, but that's a ward.
That is definitely a ward.
I think he was trying to potion.
That feels very bad.
I'm surprised they haven't question mark pinged it.
Okay, well, Demonte gets some damage down onto Hard here in the mid lane, saying, all right, thanks for stopping by. You fooled me with this last time around, but this time around, I'm ready for it.
You know what, Viper's saying, you know what, I don't need this ward, spending gold, throw it on the ground.
He's like, here you go, Alorum, you can have some free money from that one. As Hard now going to be found out by Odd Orange. Elastic Slingshot over the wall, keeping himself safe, saving that until after the Sejuani had already come through with the Q so it doesn't get interrupted, and he's out.
And red buff coming up though, but also Odd Orange looking mid, and you're going to see Mickey just pull off.
Mickey just
Towards the
not
red buff.
wanting to risk anything too crazy here just yet. Moving up, dropping down some wards. You can see that ward that's kind of placed at the crossroads between the river ramp and the chicken pit to keep an eye on wherever Odd Orange might be moseying on through.
I just want a Captain Flowers map of Summoner's Rift. Yeah, right there at the crossroad, right next to the chicken pit.
Why do I have to have a hick accent for it?
I'm sorry.
This is your bias against people that grew up in a cornfield. I see how it is, Zyrene. I see how it is.
But I don't know. I just can't say like crossroad and chicken pit. It still goes out there like without doing that.
It's a knee-jerk reaction. I can totally understand.
Yeah.
I can totally understand. Top lane.
What other
Viper's
ones you got?
content-
What's the
hanging out under? No, I'm not going to give you any more ammo right
the
now.
Krug Cave?
No.
It's the wolf watering hole.
A watering hole for wolves. It can't be a watering hole. You can't put the G on there. You have to make just the water in with a big old pop. Yeah, that's how you do it.
That's where they wash themselves.
That's how you do
You were just telling me before.
That's how you do it. Alorum will continue pushing up this top lane, though. And honestly, for a gangplank, this isn't like the Gnar, right? We talked about how last game the Gnar needed to bully the Cho'Gath around because he wanted to make sure he was set up to be able to successfully split push. Well, GP with that hyper carry status, he's okay getting familiar with the scenery underneath.
Yeah, I expect this game to be a lot less volatile early on because TLA, they lost the first game, and now they have scaling lanes in top and bottom. They could play to bottom if they wanted to with the GP and the Rise, but because they have more semi-globals, they have more pressure in terms of what they can exert. So the team that scales actually has a little bit more going for them here during the early parts of the game that you wouldn't really want to have a part of. So I think they're going to be in a better spot. They can play safer, and as long as TLA don't fall into some of their tendencies of being over-aggressive, then it should be a much cleaner early game for them.
One thing I want to comment on observing here.
Odd Orange coming up with level 6.
Odd Orange coming in, though. Joey stunned up, tries to keep Shoryu safe. Law still looking to make some plays here, having to walk away, barely going to be kept alive, utilizing his own heal. Thick skin, keeping alive the Tahm Kench. Papa Chow still going to be providing that defense. Mickey and Shoryu looking to turn this one right back around. Odd Orange going to be first blooded. Team Liquid Academy first on the board for the second game in a row. Mickey now trying to get himself away. Demonte coming in, popping the ulti. Looking to wreak some havoc in these lines. Tahm Kench, thick skin, keeping him alive again, but the damage comes through, and Demonte strikes true. It's Echo Fox Academy tying this one up.
Ends up being a 1-for-1 there. They trade the jungler for the support, and that means that the jungle might have a little bit more coming that way. Nope. It's going to be Hard, who is on the complete opposite side of the map. Not having any part of that. That was a 3v4 in favor of Fox. They had more people there. We'll see that one more time here. This good start off here from Papa Chow as the Sejuani's coming down, but the GP ultimate is huge. We talked about this where the GP ultimate onto somebody who doesn't have like a mobility spell available is big, and Lost right there has to blow heal. He's taking so much damage from it, and he rocket jumped in. So almost dies, blows his flash, and then they swap targets onto Odd Orange, and then they overchase a little bit. Mickey there getting tagged by the concussive blows is big, and it means that he gets stunned here, and then the heal comes out. Joey eats him, and they actually both get rooted there by the Swain E. So the Swain E actually has a tiny bit of an explosion on it when it hits. So if you throw it at a minion wave, you'll actually usually hit 2 or maybe 3 of the caster minions. So it's not just the first target hit. It has a little bit of an explosion radius on it. So both Joey and Mickey got hit by it, even though Mickey was the furthest target when he got spat out.
And I like what Team Liquid was able to do there to turn that play around, keep themselves safe. You said it was a 3 versus 4, but with that GP ulti, it's more like a 3.5 versus 4 because of the impact that it can have in those fights. You can see the first Drake this game is that Ocean Drake, exactly like last time around, but you aren't seeing that same attempt at it early on. Granted, that's because you don't have champions that can solo it down like Skarner and Olaf can as well, but at the same time, I would think if you're Team Liquid Academy, that first Drake play is still very much at the front of your mind going into game 2.
But right now, it's an Ocean Drake. Not really a huge deal. You'd want to get it early, but oh, the nice root onto Mickey.
In some trouble now, stunned up, Chain CC coming through, Demonte popping the ulti yet again, and the damage comes through. Odd Orange taking the credit on that one.
Beautifully done there by Demonte. When he gets the root down, gets the pull back, throws down the full combo, and the buffs that happened to Swain was the E radius. When you throw out the root, it's larger, but so is the W. The W is larger by about 65-ish units in the radius. So it ends up being really hard to actually miss your W. So he does the full combo and lands all of his abilities, and then he's just got the phase rush going, able to just walk right up, and Odd Orange throws in that last stun that he needs.
The point I was going to make earlier before the big play in bottom lane that I want to revisit now, you can also see the itemization from Demonte. There's a bit of a discussion that I've seen ever since Swain got buffed and more people started playing him on, well, what about tier on Swain? Because it can feel so powerful, and you can see this time Demonte not going for that greed, wants to make sure he's strong so he can do stuff like this.
Ooh, yeah, actually looks like he doesn't land the W on that, but the Odd Orange R comes through, and he's kind of routed by the fact that you know he's going to go up and out because the Swain W is behind him. So it actually zones him from going in a different route. And he would have been slowed, would have been stunned up. And so, really well played there to get that first initial root there from Demonte. It was pretty much max range. I didn't even see the claw start coming back. But yeah, I've seen so many different builds on Swain now.
There's a lot, but almost all of them include the Zhonya's Hourglass second item. If possible, you can see Demonte picking up the stopwatch right now, working towards that.
Yeah.
That team fight ability is so critical for this champion because his range is limited. You've got to be up close if you want to get the full value of the ultimate as well as the shotgun effect of the Q.
Yeah, and now he's going to have MR, and then he's going to have armor on top of it. And I expect him to also possibly go for the Leandries. People really like it for the burn, and it's also got just pretty much every stat you would want on him.
Papa Chow.
Boom.
Not in a good spot at the same time. Lost.
Oh!
Really getting the kill on to shore. Papa Chow walking away. Nope. There's no way just yet, but the Rise Realm Warp coming in. Joey and Mickey looking to finish this one off. Able to find one. Almost number 2. Lost trying to keep himself in the right spot here. The counterattack begins. It's Alorum and Odd Orange wanting to clean these guys up. Knock up into the air. Thick Skin not in time. Mickey going to be in some trouble. Stunned up here. Shoryu comes in. Viper also making his TP into the fight. But now Team Liquid Academy is way too far behind enemy lines. Viper flashes away. But Echo Fox Academy still comes out on top.
Yeah, that was a 3 for 2 in favor of Echo Fox Academy. And they were the ones who got dove. There were blood in the eyes of TLA. They said, all right, we have to finish this kill off. We can't let that Tristana get away with just a tiny sliver of HP. But hold on, GP's here as well.
Alorum flashing away from that one, saying, I don't think I'm going to stick around for this. Not feeling the 1 versus 2.
Yeah, TLA have control wards in both of the bottom bushes, and so they have complete control of that area. And I guess this is a swap because both of the top laners TP'd to bottom. So bottom lanes are going to go top, and mid lane's going to get broken open by Fox Academy here.
Mid lane tier 1, first turret blood of the game goes over to Echo Fox Academy, brings him up to a 2,500 gold lead.
Got tagged.
And Joey now, one more hit could trigger those concussive blows, those Winter's Bite effects. As Demonte's caught out, he doesn't have the ultimate available, so he doesn't want to be face tanking 3 people like that. Tries to get himself away. Abyssal Voyage gonna bring Joey and Mickey right on top of him. Joey going for the Devour, able to spit him right back out. Demonte still trying to get away from this one, but he can't quite do it. The damage there from Mickey.
Yeah, they give that one over to Mickey there, but meanwhile up top, Lost is just gonna get that turret. That's the second turret going down here for Fox Academy. They're gonna have to answer on TLA's side getting that mid turret, but I don't think they'll even up 2 here. Unless they rotate bot immediately after and try to shove.
Team Liquid Academy getting that first one, though. A good sign for this team, making sure that they don't fall too far behind in the objective count. Don't let that global gold start being too many strikes against them. they'll at least maintain a 1-2 deficit as opposed to the 0-2. Let's take another look at how the play happened bottom side.
Yeah, it's also important to note that Shoryu has pressed the attack in this game, so he's getting Papa Chow super low. I said it was lost before. It was Papa Chow, and then, the minion wave saving Papa Chow from all of that damage, but he also still has flash available. They blow 2 flashes, give him the lick, he goes down. Lost, he has flash as well, but they're like, all right, let's just not waste this. And then they're going to use them later when they come back up, but right now, they just pick off 2. They're like, all right, that's 2 for 2. Shoryu comes through, tanks a turret shot. Viper's there as well, and Damonte's like, hello?
He's like, all right,
that is an
nice to
overdive.
see you guys.
An overdive.
I
For
like
sure.
to see that Team Liquid all committed to the call. Like, that shows that they're all on the same page.
I want you as my solo queue coach. Just
at the same time.
I'm glad you committed.
Yeah, they were committed. Don't get me wrong. They were all on the same page. I just don't know if they were reading from the right book on this one. Not quite where you want to find yourself once the dust settles and all's said and done. But hey, it's still not even 2,000 gold apart. It's 16 minutes into the game. It could go either way. We've talked about the scaling composition and nature of Team Liquid Academy's draft. So it's not like you find yourself behind a little bit in the early game and it's all over. Damonte now going to be caught out again, brought right back into the waiting arms of the rest of Team Liquid Academy, but he's got the Zonias. He can keep himself alive. Can they turn this one around, though? Joey and Hard both going to be taken low, but Shoryu's down first. Odd Orange in the back lines, tearing things up as Echo Fox Academy goes 2 for 0.
And Viper, he's actually slowed here by Alorum.
Rupture and Vision of Empire both going to miss. Quick feet there from Viper, still slowed down by the Cho'Gath E. Vorpal Spikes doing a good job keeping this top laner on lock. Odd Orange coming in from the side, Silence not connecting. Viper still wanting to outplay this one. The damage comes in, CC Chain strikes true, and Alorum goes up 3-0 on this Cho'Gath.
Yeah, he's just trying to buy as much time as possible on Viper's side, but Fox, they're going to get another turret here, push this one down. They have that Tristana, does so much damage to these. And like you said, Alorum, he is rolling 3-0, and he also has that extra gold from the turrets and CS.
Remember when we were talking about the top laners in this matchup at the beginning of the game? We'll remember this a little bit later. Trip down memory lane going to be postponed as Echo Fox tries to get themselves away. Lost with the disengage. Flash from Mickey to try to catch right back up. Hard looking to go underneath the turret here as well. Can't quite find it. Papa Chow and Odd Orange wanting to walk away. Joey finds himself a snack. Papa Chow in some trouble. Wants to get over the wall. Needs to jump to Lost. The heal is used, but it's not quite good enough.
Yeah, but they got the flashes that they weren't able to get previously. So Lost finally flashes there. Means the next time you're able to kind of jump on him and he doesn't have rocket jump, he could be an easy target to blow up. But that's going to be that Ocean Drake. First Drake of the game. Second Drake, sorry. Fox already have one.
And you like to see this for Team Liquid Academy because this team is getting a reward for the kill, right? It's not just a 300 gold kill, everybody go home. You've got something else after it, which is really what it's all about.
Yeah. A lot of people just don't actually, fight at the right time. When there's an objective, or especially a neutral objective to take, that's when you should be fighting and blowing those summoner spells. So Mickey blowing the flash to try and get Lost, gets his flash but still forces him out. And right now, the trade on the other side is this Rift Herald.
Rift Herald will go over to Odd Orange and Alorum, and Alorum was the guy I was going to talk about because you can see here one more look at how Echo Fox tried to get themselves out.
You see Lost knocks back Mickey, forces the flash to follow. Lost had the fleet footwork on and goes up. But then Papa Chow, nom 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 nom, regurgitates him for Hard, and then Lost a little bit late to actually get up there. So he started backing, and then it's like Papa Chow, you're dead.
It's like, wait, I gotta save him. He's like, no, I'm not dead. Get over here. Hold on.
Report AD.
You would see question mark pings if that was solo queue, but just a minor inconvenience for now. Only death number 2 there for Papa Chow, but third time's a charm. Talking about Alorum, what this guy wants to be, how he got started, wanting to play professionally, wanting to play in Challenger and now in Academy. We talked about his days as a Wukong one-trick and how he was like, no, I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be one of those solo queue heroes that everybody's like, oh yeah, that guy's great in solo queue, but he'd never make it in pro play because he doesn't have a champ pool. He's doing well. He's adapting to these tankier champions. And yeah, Cho'Gath's not a pure tank. It's more of like an AP bruiser style almost.
I think Cho'Gath is pretty pure tanky.
He's pretty pure. He kills you too, though.
Yeah.
He's a tank with bruiser elements.
That is a highly tuned tank. Hold on, though.
Hard going in, goes unstoppable. Damonte into the middle of multiple people, though. That's not where you want to see the Swain if you're Team Liquid Academy. Sure, you can't stay alive this game. Mickey hobbling away, Shoryu dead in the middle of multiple people, Viper trying to escape, Rupture not finding the mark, Odd Orange goes forward, Viper not quite caught out on this one, the Vision of Empire a little bit too shallow, but Echo Fox Academy again finding their mark, Shoryu again not in a spot where he can be defended on this very vulnerable Cogwheel.
Yeah, Odd Orange has been playing so well. Even the first game, this one as well. He interrupted hard from landing that CC with the E perfectly, and then he was able to go after that back line. And he throws down the Rift Herald. Hold on, though.
Rift Herald a distraction to try to keep Team Liquid Academy away. Echo Fox wants to go for the early Baron yet again. It's 4 versus 5. Shoryu back up, making his way towards the fight. Baron gonna be down to 3K. Remember, Alorum does have that feast available on the Cho'Gath.
Oh,
Here this one's
gonna go.
Viper gonna be gobbled out. They're still looking to make this happen. Hard goes in, but he can't quite do it. Alorum again on the secure. Hard gonna be taken low. Focus now also on the Viper. The first one down. Echo Fox Academy trying to keep themselves alive. Joey's gonna drop Shoryu, looking to make the plays. He's too far forward. A double kill for Odd Orange. They get the Baron, they get the ace. Everybody's all over the place. And Echo Fox Academy are right where they want to be.
They have the Baron, now they have the push pressure. Man, these fights, Damonte is just not dying, and that's what it looks like here is TLA. They're trying to take him down, and then they overextend for it. He is tanky, he's mega tanky.
2-1-8 on this Swain, always at the middle of every fight, always getting maximum value out of that Death's Hand multiple hit proc, out of the fact that he's got the Demonic Ascension on multiple people. Echo Fox Academy is doing fantastically here in game number 2. That close gold situation we were talking about just minutes ago, Zyrene, of not even 2K separating them, that is a thing of the past. 10,000 gold lead for Echo Fox Academy.
And man, Shoryu on the flip side, he has just been out of position multiple times. This is a hard composition to position around though, because you have a Zac who wants to engage, and then your Tomcat just supposed to be like eating you and pulling you back. In the fight before this one, he was right on the front line, and he has the flash to get away and like try to escape. Right here though, this actually drops to 1,000. Alorum's got it though. 1,000. Oh, you heard the no. And then Shoryu comes up. He's like, all right, let's deal some damage. Walks up. Walks even further. He's like, I gotta kill Damonte. Gets rooted. Walks forward. I gotta kill Damonte. Well, he gets Papa Chow here. They have a little hug, and they both drop at the end there in the parent pit.
You got Papa Chow, but 5 members on Team Liquid Academy dead means that their opponents were able to push, take down inhibitor turret number 1. The inhibitor itself still standing. Hard goes in, wants to initiate things yet again here, manages to get the ulti down onto Papa Chow, has to flash away. Throws up the Unbreakable now as well. TP coming in. They want to see if they can get everybody involved here. Joey's going to be taken low. Lost grabbing the kill on that one. Goes on a killing spree. Hard trying to escape, but also going to be taken down. A double kill for Lost. Shoryu's going to be number 3.
Lost going in.
And Echo Fox Academy will likely just take it right here. Damonte with the ulti still going. Mickey and Viper alive. But are these two enough to postpone what appears to be inevitable? 5-man strong. The push coming down mid lane. The Nexus turret's under siege. The damage comes through. Viper is out of there. Mickey has nothing left to do but watch from the summoning platform as the turrets fall. The Nexus is exposed. And Echo Fox Academy, we said they made a statement in game number 1 where they are following it up with a hell of a lot of supporting arguments here in game number 2.
2-0 to start off this best of 5. Alorum said, we already think we're a finals team. They are 1 game away from going from being the 4th seed, the last seed into playoffs, to being in that finals. And they just won this game in 24 minutes.
That's the way playoffs works. As long as you get in, you've got a shot at going all the way. Even if you might have a harder road having to play up against that team that did come in first place from the regular split, Echo Fox is showing they got what it takes.
Absolutely, and I'm really impressed with pretty much across the board. We're seeing Lost have some really good carry performances. We're also seeing Damonte in the mid lane, even when he's put behind early in that first game, able to come back and team fight well. And then Alorum just making sure Viper doesn't really get to play much of League of Legends here.
No.
And Odd Orange, I think, has been the standout for me personally. I liked his steal in the first game, the way that he was coordinating the map. And then in his second game, the ganks, when he's able to kind of get those early ganks rolling, Odd Orange seems to be like a big catalyst for this team.
Odd Orange enabling things. And I don't just want to talk about what happened on Summoner's Rift either. I want to talk about the precursor to Summoner's Rift because I think Echo Fox... Mental boom from game number 1, but also Echo Fox still just playing this draft the way they need to play it. Going into game number 2, I was actually wondering, okay, you banned away the Riven. Does that... obviously that worked, going into game number 2, are you looking at that like, oh, okay, we were able to take him down like this. We don't even need to ban Riven. We're not worried. Or do you stay that course and say, no, keeping him off this is imperative. That's what they do, and twice in a row it succeeds.
Yeah, they banned away the Riven, the Olaf, the Gnar, and the Yasuo. 4 bans thrown at Viper. I count the Olaf as one of them because he had played it before. And then in their first game, the Riven, and then that was it. So they decided to go a little bit deeper into that pool and ban more away, and they still played Cho'Gath both games. Cho'Gath, Sion seem to be really big picks in that top lane. I feel like you should ban them away, maybe force Alorum onto something else, because this is a best of 5 where you haven't really forced the top laner who's just kind of neutralizing one of your carries to play something a bit weaker into him.
At the same time, let's talk Team Liquid Academy and in general as a whole, because this team has committed those sins that we talked about being one of their problems at the beginning of the day. This team is aggressive, sometimes overly so. We got to see that this game, 13 minutes in, the dive bottom lane.
Yeah, when they get the stun onto Joey, they go a little far forward, and Papa Chow is blocking. The press the attack goes off, the heal to save him, and then the GP ultimate. And the TP committed, and then this is it. It's like, we gotta go, we gotta kill him, and you saw there, the Kog'Maw actually didn't arrive with. He was right, like 1 footstep away from actually going with them, but they need the minion wave there to actually execute a push like that. This is at a point in the game where first turret hasn't gone down.
No.
Maybe they should just push, have everybody kind of show up and be in attendance and push down a turret because the Braum was pushed away. But instead, they blow a lot of summoner spells, and then they end up getting a worse trade for it.
And that's what this team was afraid of, going too far towards that direction. We've said how they're heaven or hell. We said how this aggression lends itself towards either massive advantages or great disadvantages. And so far, Team Liquid Academy has put themselves in some rough spots. You can see that after Echo Fox pulled far ahead, they decide to once again go for the early Baron. They're confident in it. They've got the Cho'Gath, and then the ace off the back of it.
Yeah, because they had killed the Kog'Maw previously, he has to kind of run back from the base. They start up the Baron, Hard gets in there, but this Cho'Gath, still no contest on it. And like I said, the Cho'Gath, I think, is becoming an issue for the steals when they're ahead. Just securing it, that's out of smite range. You can never get that as Hard. He even throws down the smite button press and throws it onto somebody after the Baron is already dead as he's flying in. So there's really no chance he would get that.
And now that this is 2-0, it's do or die for Team Liquid Academy. Remember, this is a 14 playoff. It's 2 semifinals into a grand final, which leads you to a situation where you lose a best of 5, you're out.
Yep.
There isn't a loser's bracket. There isn't a redemption chance. Team Liquid Academy has to figure out what's going wrong right here. They need to do a very quick assessment, figure out some of these problems, at least enough to get themselves a win, stay alive in this, and get some momentum to keep this series going.
Yeah, and Team Liquid Academy, keep in mind, they were the first place team coming in. Their record is 14-5, and Echo Fox Academy 11-7. So the 14-5 stands out to me because that is a pretty dominant record. Like, no LCS team has that pretty much across the 18, sometimes 19 games, 20 games that they played.
Tiebreakers included.
So,
sometimes we have those.
So they were pretty dominant during the regular season, and I feel like being on stage is a different beast as well.
It is.
It's a different setup, different height of chair, etc. And it gets said a lot in a whole bunch of other esports. I don't think so much in League of Legends because we don't have that direct translation. But Academy, I think, is that translation now from being at home, being in a controlled environment with your colleagues in Academy, and then being on that stage with people in front of you. It is very different. And if you can play as one of the best players at home, but you can't do it on LAN, then it's very difficult to get to that high level of pro because you have to be able to deliver in both environments.
You can't just be good at playing League of Legends well. You have to play it well under stress, in those tense situations, when you're in everyone's eye.
Crush scrims.
That's where you're going to be.
All you want. Crush scrims every day. When you get on that stage, you have to be able to deliver.
That's what matters. Right now, we are heading for a break, and Echo Fox are at match point. See if they can close out or if Team Liquid Academy will extend this series once we get back. Stay right there. Mickey gonna be in some trouble, stunned up here. Shoryu comes in, Viper also making his TP into the fight, but now Team Liquid Academy is way too far behind enemy lines. Viper flashes away.
Hold on, though.
Hard going in, goes unstoppable. DeMonte into the middle of multiple people, though. That's not where you want to see the Swain if you're Team Liquid Academy.
Wait, Viper.
Look at
Baron.
Baron, eat it, okay?
Got it. Nice, your beast.
Look
I have Zonia, we can win.
Play in pit.
I
Cogs W.
catch.
Got the Cog back.
I got Cog.